Here there's mountains going around here, all the way around. And the area where the sun rises is over the ocean. Really beautiful. I mean, sometimes you see dark clouds on the other side of the mountain. Watch them they come up to the mountain like they're coming towards me, and then they just slide around the mountain and keep on going. Never come over the mountain. Look at that beautiful moon. That's the moon. Moon as it passes to the west, and the sun is rising in the east. Unless you're living in New York City or Chicago, LA, San Fran, where there's nothing like this, you know, hardly any trees, concrete everywhere. This is beautiful. Yeah, I like to enjoy it whenever I can. For me in the morning, especially. Sometimes in the evening. Almost everyone here has some kind of fruit tree in their yard. Looking at these surroundings, what brings balance to my life. On the one side, there are personal, your wants and not your needs, because your needs are always met. Air, food, water, home. Those are things we take for granted when we have them. You don't wish for them. But the worry about family, friends, especially if they might be experiencing some difficulties. This brings balance back. Wow. It's an airplane landing. It's on the other side of the mountain. I don't know if you can see it coming up to this tree right here, right behind that tree. You're watching on one hand half the world at war. Created by the same people. Everywhere you find war on the planet, they have their hands in it. Even even a country like England. little over 100 years ago, England was almost unchallengeable. The best war machine and financial machine that existed at the time. Today in 2024, England can't even maintain a ship. That's the way of the so-called great powers. They all are born, they grow up, they go through the several stages getting to manhood, and then they die. The growth stages are sometimes difficult. If you see the struggle that America went through, for instance, you read the story of what happened, and you understand the beginning that was a plan. It wasn't these few people trying to escape religious persecution. It was a plan. They knew about America. They knew about the landmass. They knew what was there. And they were coming to get it because land was running out in Europe. And the people who were not kings, tired of the king ruling over them, coming in, they will build a kingdom, and the big king would come in and send his army and took away all that they owned. So they came to America and experimented with something that was new. Now the mythology doesn't say that. The mythology says these people yearning for religious freedom came to, nah, they brought their religion with them, and some of the things that they did in America were even worse than what they did to each other in Europe. You know, burned at the stake, drowned you. Say, well, if you could survive this, means that. And then they say if you survive being drowned, put you underneath water. If you survive that, it means that you were saved by God. And then you survived. The few people who were survived, they said, see, you proved that you are the devil. The devil would have done that for his people. So they kill you anyway. Shoot. Great religions, they all go through it too. Same thing. They rise up every 2,000 years. You get a new one. They have a life cycle of 2. But anyway, we're not talking about the religion and all that. We're talking about looking at the world and seeing it, like I said, like a child. Born. Every nation is born. You go back to that cycle again, where people, you see the village, and the village gets so many people that few families decide, you know what, let's go off by ourselves and form our own village. All over Africa, you can see that. Even today, look at the village names. Look at the village names and you will be able to see it. That one village, maybe 10 kilometers away from the other, sometimes 2 kilometers away from the other. Got a name from a family from the original village. That's the way it is. Unfortunately, our education system doesn't allow us to gain this knowledge. Today, the education system is focused on AI, robotics, and biological changes that they can make to the body. Some of it that can prolong life, and some of it that they aim to use. The aim is to use it to control your life. It's like this Fauci vaccine. They already have one called AIDS. They already have one called AIDS. And the same people are involved in it. The same Fauci. Where you can live a full life cycle, but you gotta take the medication. And the same thing with this new one here that come out with 19. Well, let me say 2019, not 19. Some people wouldn't understand why I say 19. 2019, they made that, and the intention is to control that population. There's going to be a small percentage of the population that they intend to keep alive. And people will see this happening and they call this the pinnacle of man. We went through those stages already. We go through cycles, people, cycles of life and death, sunrise, sunset, light and darkness, good and evil, as they call it, yin and yang, the cycle. One day the earth has got 10 million people. Then, boom. The genes decide that they die. The genes die. They begin to kill off the whole population of the planet. And when it gets down to a certain level, where the chemicals that were put in the air, the water, the ocean, when it all got washed out of the atmosphere and washes out, the rain leaches it out of the soil, then the earth begins to rebuild the genetics again. And those people who survived that become the new foundation for the next cycle. See, all this stuff is written in a book. And but you gotta know where to find it. How? Those who have discovered it, who have lived through it, many have lived through it. Those who are now the controllers of that corporation, and every time one of the members die, they bring in somebody else who's going to continue the activities of that corporation. Why am I telling you this? So you guys that are hearing me can prepare for the next cycle. If you're not ready, tell your children, so that when they see it, when things get that bad, they will come back and say, you know, my parents told me about this. At the time, I didn't believe it will happen because, you know, it seemed like a fantasy. But now I know. My son, I mean, I've told my son so many, many things that when he was growing up. And today he comes back and says, Dad, you know, you told me that. And I didn't believe you. The cycle will continue, will never end. That's the way it is. It's sunrise and sunset, never end until heaven and earth pass away, one book said. Will never end. There will always be rich and poor, will never end. The cycle is there, is set into the life of the planet, of the universe. Anyway, continue to study. Continue to, don't just listen to me. Go out and find this information. It's there. I can tell you it's there. And today, with that cell phone in your hand, you can find anything. You can find anything. Just have to know how to search for it. And I'm telling you how to search for it. I'll give you the knowledge of how to search. Look at the cycles. All right, have a great day. Peace.